Coming to you from the All Fiction Studios, this is Tracy Dickson welcoming you to the Steger Classic Pulp Podcast, brought to you by StegerBooks.com, the purveyors of quality facsimiles and reprints of classic pulp magazines and story anthologies. You'll find a promo code for an exclusive discount in the episode below. Please help us grow our audience by following our shows, telling your friends, and leaving us a comment. We'd appreciate it. Now join us as we present Richard B. Sale's ace reporter, Joseph Daffy Dilll, in part one of a two-part production of A Nose for News. Was the tipsy Huntington heiress keeping her weird vow to kidnap herself? Or was gangland paying a debt with her blood? As we join our story, Daffy is at his desk in the New York Chronicle newsroom. Let's listen in. Chapter 1.
The telephone on my desk rang, so I stopped banging out the lead of the double suicide story I had just covered and answered it. It was Dinah Mason, who is decidedly bad for my heart. She was the reception girl for the Chronicle, and she had buzzed me from the outer office. Hello, Garbo.
Listen, Daffy. A lunatic just went by here yelling your name. He looks angry. I couldn't stop him.
Thanks for the warning, gal, but I'm not on the spot for anything, as far as I can recall.
Okay. He sure looks mad.
She hung up, as did I. And no sooner had I shoved the telephone back where it belonged than the door to the city room burst open and the maniac stalked in. He was a little guy, well-dressed, with a black derby perched on the top of his skull. He was waving a home edition of the Chronicle in his right hand, like a red flag.
Which one of you is Joe Dill? Which one of you pencil pushers is Joe Dill?
I kept my mouth shut, waiting for him to reach me before identifying myself, and hoping that by that time some of the hot blood would have cooled off. The rest of the staff, in the tradition, kept their pans a perfect blank. If I wanted to make myself known, that was my business alone. But just then, Harry Lyons, the rat of our sheet, who had been sore at me since I got his job, gave me a dirty look and pointed at me. His biggest aspiration, you see, was to find me flat on my face with a knife between my shoulder blades.
Here he is, mister. Meet Daffy Dilll, the world's worst newspaper man.
Button your lip, Lyons. But he saw trouble for me. He smirked broadly, got up and took the maniac by the arm. He pulled the guy right over to my desk and put a chair there for him.
Here is the Cyrano de Bergerac of the newspaper racket. All nose, no news.
Ha ha! I surveyed Lyons' face for the exact spot where I was going to hang a haymaker very shortly. I picked his eye. That was the most ignominious spot.
Are you Joe Dill?
I am Joe Dill. Sit down, my friend. What's wrong?
What's wrong?
He slapped his copy of the home edition on my desk and hurled the chair aside.
He asks me what's wrong. Du lieber Gott!
I got more and more puzzled.
Mr. Dill, do you know who I am, huh?
You've got me there, mister.
I am Adolph. Adolph, America's premier chef. Do you know what you have done?
Adolph? Well, I'll be damned. Adolph, the chef of the Grenada Hotel? Well, what in hell are you sore about? Didn't you see that swell feature I wrote about you in the second section today?
Swell feature? Mr. Dill, you should be arrested. Verdammt, you should never be allowed to write again. You have libeled me. You have been malicious. I will sue this damn paper to heaven.
He turned stoically to Lyons and asked with dignity,
Where is the editor?
Right this way.
Lyons smiled sweetly at me.
I'll take you right in. Don't blame you a bit. Newspaper men shouldn't libel their readers. You're absolutely right. This way.
When he had gone in the vague direction of the old man's office, I grabbed a stray copy of the Chronicle and hurriedly thumbed through it to my story, which had made a big enough hit with the old man to net me a byline. I read it through carefully. Near the end, I groaned. It went like this. Adolph was famous long before he entered the cuisine of the Grenada Hotel. For 10 years before the war, he was the most famous of all the crooks of Vienna. Libel. It was dynamite, fuse lighted and all. I had meant to say that he was the most famous cook in all Vienna, but somehow my typewriter must have slipped in that wandering R while I was pounding the keys. I groaned. I locked my desk, got up, and found my hat and coat. I knew right then that I had joined the Legion of the Unemployed, but somehow that word crook still rankled me. I was damn positive that I hadn't written crook for cook, and if I had, why hadn't the copy reader picked it up and fixed it? Suspicion grew, and in 5 short minutes I realized that Harry Lyons, CT, cutthroat, had pulled a Sandy on me. So I waited for him. In a little while, Adolph came out of the old man's office with a happy expression on his face, as though he had just seen my corpse. He sneered a sneer at me and left the city room. No sooner had he gone out than Lyons came to my desk.
Why, hello, Daff. The old man wants to see you right away.
You don't say. And someone wants to see you right away, too.
Who is it?
Your favorite doctor. With that, I let him have a short, sweet haymaker right under his eye, which spot I had chosen previously. There was a pleasant crunch. His teeth clicked together neatly. His eyes closed with a snap you could hear on West Street. He went down and out. McGuire, the sports editor, looked up from the story he was writing about Lou Gehrig and yawned.
Nice punch, Daffy. Better see the old man anyway. He may have mercy on your soul.
Thanks, Mac. I'll see him. I went to the old man's office and knocked. Then I opened the door and stuck my head in, weaving in case he started to throw things.
Come in here, Daffy. Sit down a second.
On the level?
Why, Daffy, did I ever...
Okay. Ixnay on the pathos. Let's get it over. He nodded, and I sat down.
In the first place, you are fired.
I knew that.
Listen, Daffy, I hate like hell to do it, but I've got a boss too. The guy who publishes the sheet. I couldn't let you stay.
I know.
I had to settle with that frocked cook for $1 grand. He wouldn't take a cent less for release of that libel.
The old man shrugged.
I have to fire you. Can't do anything else. But I wanted to speak to you about those gambling expose articles you've been writing. The ones you left with me for safety.
They're mine. I did them on my own time.
I know it, but I want them. They'll blow Cantry's graft organization wide open when I break them. Now I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll keep 'em here. You go out and run into the prize Scoopy of the Year. It'll have to be an exclusive. Then I'll just be forced to hire you again, over the publisher's head, to get your yarn, and all will be serene once more.
You mean that I've got to scoop the AP, the UP, the Metropolitan News Service, and every other rag in this city to get my job back?
Yeah.
The day of miracles is past, my Fran. The old man shrugged.
You'll have to do it. I can't take you back otherwise. I've got to protect myself. I want you. You're a good newspaper man, Daffy. And I want that gambling expose, too. Make a try, anyhow. You've got $30 due on salary. How about it?
Slave driver. I will try. I'll do my damnedest, even if I have to steal or murder myself. So long. When you see this intelligent fizz again, it will hold in its mind the greatest circulation yarn in days. I went out. I felt enthusiastic and fine. The old man was a prince. He liked me, or my gambling story. When I reached the street, I went limp. Where in hell could you get a scoop in a modern newspaper day like this? I began to feel down. So I took the subway up to Times Square, which is my happy hunting ground. And then I went to the Hotspot Club to drown my sorrows for a while.
Chapter 2.
The Hotspot is on West 43rd, and it is owned by Mike Cantry, alias The Brain. Cantry headed just about every racket on the main stem, No murder, beering, or bootlegging. Not crude stuff like that. He just took suckers. He ran machines, gambling houses, spots like this one, which were blinds for his crooked wheels in the rear. And it was Cantry I had written my expose about. I went in and took a seat by myself in one of the oaken stalls. A waiter came over and looked questioningly at me. I said, "An old-fashioned garçon, as ever." While I was waiting for him, I lighted a cigarette. A shadow fell across my table. I looked up. A girl was standing in front of my stall. She had corn hair, a smooth looker, and was dressed like the Queen of Sheba.
I know you.
She was a little bit tight, and she was holding a rye highball. I thought I'd seen her before somewhere, but I played safe. "You've got the better of me, Garbo."
You're Daffy Dilll.
Right the first time.
You're a reporter on the Chronicle.
Wrong there. I was a reporter on the Chronicle. I just lost my job. That's why my tears are staining my best shirt. Sit down and put up your hair and have a good cry with me. Who are you?
Tough.
She said, about the job, and then added,
I'm Clare Gordon.
I didn't look bright.
You know, Pemberton Gordon's daughter. You interviewed him at the house last week on the NRA. He's in the cloak and suit end, as administrator.
Hell yes, I shook hands with the gal. But I didn't see you there, or I would have stayed longer. I haven't seen a yarn about you since you forced down the police plane when it tried to get you for stunting over the city. She made a face.
That was a jam. They cracked up in landing. I've reformed. Dad played hell with me on that one.
The waiter brought my old-fashioned. Have one?
Sure, thanks.
Another, I told the waiter. He left.
How'd you lose your job?
I happen to have a guy in the office who hates my nerve. He had my job, but he couldn't deliver. They promoted me to his 40 fish a week, and he's been sore at me ever since. He fixed me into a libelous story, changed one word and got the paper in a jam. It looked as though I'd written it, and so I am fired.
Tisk, tisk.
She shook her head.
Bad, bad. Daffy, am I a pal?
My Franc, I have known you for years.
You help me out, and I'll get you back your job.
Why not? Consider yourself helped. She handed me a slip of paper. It had a list of figures on it, which added up to $5 grand.
Know what that is?
IOUs, probably. Been playing the wheel?
Not me. I'm not that dumb. But my brother has, and he's in a real spot. Dad's cracked down on him lately. Won't give him money. Dick was playing the wheel here at Cantry's. He lost. He gave them an IOU each time. Now they want to collect. They're going to go to Dad, and I know it'll get Dick disowned or something. I told him I'd fix it up. I saw the brain. He said no.
$5 grand? Okay, girlie. You sit here and devour your drink. I'll be right back. I got up and went to the back door. Rigo, the brain's right-hand man, peered out at me through the barred door. Oh, it's you. He opened up. I went in. The tables were all getting a good play, even for daytime. Suckers were plunking down the coppers and having them swept away without a bit of return, but they kept right at it. I asked Rigo, "Where's the brain?" "In his office," Rigo said. He was a little guy with black hair, black mustachio, and squinty eyes. "Want to see him?" "Yeah." He took me in. The brain was sitting behind his desk, smoking a cigar. Luke Turk was sitting with him. Luke was the brain's muscle man when customers were broken-armed about paying up. Rigo closed the door behind us. "Hello, Daffy. How's tricks?" "Fair. I want to ask a favor." "Anything for a pal." The brain smiled, and I shivered because I knew damn well he would have liked to have had my throat slit. "What is it?" "There's a guy named Richard Gordon, a good pal of mine. He owes you $5 grand. "Yeah, that's right." "Tear up his IOU. He's a personal friend, you see." He didn't know your wheels were crooked. Luke Turk jumped around and stared at me.
Listen, Birdie, button your lip or...
Why, Luke, don't speak like that. Daffy's my best friend, aren't you, Daffy?
How about it?
Afraid the answer's no. $5,000 is $5,000.
I see. Mind if I use your phone?
Go ahead.
I called the old man at the Chronicle. The three buzzards watched me carefully. The old man answered.
Yeah?
Chief, this is Daffy Dilll. I'm at the hotspot seeing Mike Cantry. He just refused to do a favor for me. Don't you think it was about time the Chronicle ran that series of articles exposing his crooked gambling joints all over the city?
Hell no. You haven't finished them up yet.
Fine. I'll tell him he can read all about it in tomorrow's editions then.
Wait a second.
I get you. You're baiting him. Keep talking if you want. I'll play along from this end.
Nice going, Chief, but wait a second. I put my hand over the mouthpiece and asked, "What is it?" The brain studied me.
Is that on the level?
You bet your sweet life it is.
It can't hurt me. I've got the political boys greased.
Yeah, but you haven't got the public greased. You take their money, and they'll be sore when they read about it. They'll put the blame for any time they've ever been gypped on you. Maybe there'll be a federal inquiry. And in 2 months, there's an election coming up. The people won't elect your political boys unless they clean you out.
This is one guy we ought to cook, Brain.
Let me do it.
Boys, don't be silly. You don't kill a reporter who has just written an expose of you. That adds murder to the other crimes.
He's right, you lugs. Call off your dogs, Daffy. It's a deal. I'll give you the IOU.
Chief, it's all off. You'll have to hold those articles for another favor. So long. I hung up. The brain opened his desk, took out a note, handed it to me.
I'm on the short end. You've still got those articles for publication. How much for them?
I'm not blackmailing.
You mean you'll run them sometime anyhow?
Yeah, but you'll have time to get your affairs together and start a new racket, Brain. Gambling's dead from now on. Luke Turk growled.
Get out of here, you rat, before I forget myself and blast you.
I got out.
Chapter 3.
Clare Gordon had finished her old-fashioned when I went back to the stall. She was a little tighter. She laughed at me.
How'd you make out?
I handed her the IOU. Is this your brother's signature? She nodded.
That's it.
Then you're all set. I took out a match and burned the note. Tell him he's in the clear. Also, tell him to lay off crooked joints. Now, how about my job?
That's right. I told you I'd get it back. I've got a swell plan. I'm going to be kidnapped.
What?
Sure. I'm going to be kidnapped tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. By aeroplane.
Rigo went by the stall at that moment. Shh, not so loud. Now what in hell is this?
I just figured it out sitting here. You write my folks a threatening letter saying I've been kidnapped and that the ransom...
Did you ever hear of the Lindbergh Law?
Sure, but what's the difference? All right then, I'll write my own letter. I'll say that I've been kidnapped and the ransom is $200,000. I'll name you as go-between. Then I'll take off from home in my plane tomorrow at 8 p.m. and fly up to Binnybunk, Maine, where Dad has a cabin. It'll be deserted there now. After a week or two, while you bask in the publicity of go-between and your paper cries for your services, I'll come back and tell a wild story.
You're hopped, you're staggering. Forget it. I wouldn't go in on a plan like that for money.
But I want to help you.
Help me? You want me to become a lifer in a federal jug? Clare wrinkled her nose.
All right. But you can't stop me from doing it. And I'll write the ransom note and still name you as go-between.
I'll blow up the story.
And they'll pinch you for conspiracy or something. I'm telling you, Daffy, tomorrow at 8 p.m., I hop off for Maine and kidnap myself. Them's the kind words that gets back your job.
Well, she meant what she said. I was sitting in my apartment the next night around 8:30, bemoaning the lack of scoops in this dazzling world. I had had a hard day trying to find a story which would yank back my job, but no luck. My nose simply wasn't in the news. I was washed up. Then my telephone rang. Your nickel. It was my heart. Dinah Mason. She thrust aside the usual sentimental amenities.
Daffy? Hell's broken loose.
Somebody bombed the office?
It's Clare Gordon. She's been kidnapped. Half an hour ago. She was taking off from her father's estate out near Huntington, Long Island. 3 men jumped her. At least that's what the chauffeur says. The snatchers piled into the plane, and they all took off for points unknown.
Damn the gel. Any other fine points?
There was a ransom note left behind. It names you as go-between. The bulls have been here for you. They're on their way up there now. The old man is frantic trying to find you. The last place we looked was home. You're seldom there.
Listen, Dinah, don't get excited. The Gordon skirt framed this whole thing. I'll tell the old man when I see him. It was put up.
Are you sure, Daffy? It doesn't look like a frame.
It's a frame, my chickadee. Forget it. Who's covering for the paper?
Harry Lyons.
Oh, me, oh, my. What glorious fun. Abyssinia, my hourglass. Look me up in Atlanta. I hung up, threw on my hat and coat, and took a powder before the police reached my place. I wasn't any too soon, either. They roared up the street to the door, sirens going, just as I went down the block. I caught a cab, said, "Headquarters, Mac," and settled back on the cushions to enjoy the ride, which cost me 75 cents when I finally paid off in front of the Center Street building at the other end. I went up to see Captain George Shane, who I figured would be in charge of the case, even if it had taken place on Long Island. They centralize things like kidnappings, because one man has to stand in with the federal authorities when they come searching. Inspector Halloran and Sergeant Bill Hanley of the Homicide Squad were both on the out in this snatch. I was right. Captain Shane was my man. Every newshound in the city was outside his door, pounding on it, trying to get in and get hold of some facts. A cop, I recognized him as Curly Newton, was pushing them aside. In the midst of the Holocaust, I saw Harry Lyons. He had a bad eye where I had brushed him off. "Gentlemen of the press." There was sudden silence. They stopped pushing and turned around. Lyons yelled,
Daffy Dilll?
and that started it. I forgot for a moment that I had been named go-between in Clare Gordon's screwy ransom note. I was a public figure in the case. They mobbed me for a statement while Curly Newton tore into Captain Shane's office. In a second or two, before I could say a word, Newton came out again and dragged me through the mob into Shane's office. He closed the door, and I liked the quiet for a change. Captain Shane was pacing the floor in front of Pemberton Gordon, Clare's father. He recognized me easily, since I had interviewed him for the paper only the week before, as Clare had said. There were 2 other men in the room, too. They were federal operatives. I could see it as plain as day.
Daffy,
Said Captain Shane.
you heard what's happened?
I nodded.
You heard you've been named go-between?
I nodded again, looking at Pemberton Gordon's face. He was scared to death. His hands were trembling. I could see a vein in his temple throbbing like hell. I felt sorry for him. "Listen, Captain, I just heard about it, and I came right down to blow it up. It's a fake."
A what?
"A fake. A pushover, Sandy. It's a frame. The kid did it on purpose to help me get my job back." Captain Shane stared at me.
Daffy, are you on the level?
"You know me, Captain. I don't lie to you."
Then start talking. Let's hear this one.
I talked and told him all that had happened, how I'd done the gel a favor. I didn't say what it was because her old man was there, and how she wanted to do something for me. I told how she said she'd kidnap herself, name me as the go-between, so's I'd get the job back. Shane listened without saying anything, just nodding now and then, but I saw that Pemberton Gordon was regarding me with the kind of a look he'd give Frankenstein's monster, and the Federal dicks were giving me the kind of eye which meant a rubber hose. I prayed. When I had finished, Captain Shane shook his head.
Daffy, it sounds fishy. I've known you a long time and all that, but it sounds fishy. I don't like to say it, but it does. Now come clean.
Chief, that's clean. I wouldn't fool you.
He's one of the gang,
Gordon exclaimed.
I know he's one of the gang. That's why he was named as go-between. He knows where Clare is. I want him arrested.
One of the feds said.
Don't worry about that none.
Wait a second. Take it easy, boys. I'm telling the God's honest truth. I was sweating like a soda glass. The girl is up at her father's cabin at Binnybunk, Maine. Why don't you check on that and see if I'm right? Shane nodded.
That sound? We'll do that little thing.
One of the feds snapped.
Meanwhile,
Said the other.
you're being detained as a material witness or suspicious character or anything you'd like. Put him in the can, Captain.
That's what I'll have to do, Daffy. Sorry.
Okay, Chief. Just so we clear the thing up. I told that scatterbrained frill I wasn't in on it. She said that wouldn't stop her.
We'll wire the Binny's Bunk sheriff. Sit tight in the jug. You'll know in an hour.
That concludes Part 1 of the AI Repertory Theater's production of A Nose for News, presented by StegerBooks.com. What will the sheriff find in Binnybunk, Maine? Will Daffy clear himself from Clare Gordon's scheme? Will he get his job back? What could possibly go wrong? Tune in next time to find out. Please remember to help us grow our audience by following our shows, leaving us a comment, and telling your friends. Thanks for listening.